The gun didn't waver. Steel gleamed under the firelight. Jin-seok's hand trembled, just slightly, but his finger stayed on the trigger. Ji-ho stared up at him, blood in his mouth, smoke in his lungs, his best friend pointing a weapon at his head. Jin-seok. His voice cracked. Raw. Desperate. "What are you doing?" "What I should have done 15 years ago." Jin-seok's voice shook, not with fear, with rage, with pain that had festered for 2 decades. "When your father died and you took over. When you promised we'd build this empire together." "Together, Ji-ho. That's what you said. We did build it together." "No." The word exploded out of him. "You built it. I just followed orders like a fucking dog." His hand tightened on the gun. 20 years, Ji-ho. 20 years I've been by your side. Since we were 13 years old in that shitty middle school. I stood by you when your father died, when the other families tried to take over, when you had nothing but a name and a target on your back. Ji-ho's chest heaved. Each breath was agony. "You're my brother. I'm your employee." Jin-seok's face twisted. "That's all I've ever been to you. You call me partner, but you treat me like hired help." "Jin-seok, handle this." "Jin-seok, clean that up." "Jin-seok, run my errands while I sit in the penthouse and play king." "That's not—" "It is!" Tears streamed down Jin-seok's face now, mixing with ash and smoke. "I helped you rebuild from nothing. I negotiated the deals. I eliminated the threats. I bled for this syndicate just as much as you did. But when the contracts are signed, when the money flows in, my name is nowhere. Just business partner. A fucking title with no power. No respect. No real stake." Ji-ho tried to sit up. Failed. His body wouldn't cooperate. The injection still coursed through his veins like liquid lead. "If you wanted more, I shouldn't have to ask." Jin-seok's voice broke. "Brothers don't make each other beg for scraps, but that's all I've ever been to you, isn't it? The loyal dog who sits and stays and fetches on command." The words landed like punches, each one true, each one devastating. Because Jin-seok was right. Ji-ho had never seen it, never understood how his oldest friend had slowly transformed into just another subordinate, how the boy who'd shared lunch money and homework and dreams had become the man who ran Ji-ho's errands without question. "I'm sorry." The words tasted like ash. "Jin-seok, I'm sorry, I didn't see—" "Of course you didn't see." Jin-seok laughed bitterly. "You were too busy running an empire, too busy being the ghost king of Seoul, too busy falling in love with some random girl who stumbled into your life and made you forget everyone who was already there. This isn't about Adora. Everything is about Adora." Jin-seok's hand shook harder now. The gun bobbed. His finger twitched on the trigger. She shows up and suddenly you're a different person, smiling, laughing, taking days off, refusing deals because you want to be a better man. Do you know how weak that made you look? How weak that made US look? Loving someone doesn't make me weak. It made you careless. Jin-seok stepped closer, the gun's barrel pressed against Ji-ho's forehead. Cold. Final. "You signed away your entire empire tonight. Everything we built, everything we sacrificed for, gone because of her." Ji-ho's jaw clenched. "I'd do it again. I know, that's why you have to die." Jin-seok's voice dropped, quieter now, almost gentle. "Sungmin offered me equal shares. Real partnership, 50-50 split of everything. No more taking orders, no more begging for recognition." "And you trust him?" Ji-ho's eyes locked onto Jin-seok's. "You trust that he'll keep his word? That a man who orchestrated all this, who set fires, hurt an innocent girl, and orchestrated murder, you think he'll honor a deal with you?" "Shut up." Jin-seok's hand wavered, just for a second. "He eliminated me to take power," Ji-ho pressed. His voice was soft, steady. "What makes you think you won't be next? Once you've served your purpose, once you've helped him consolidate control, what stops him from putting a bullet in your head too?" "Shut up!" Jin-seok's finger tightened on the trigger. His whole body shook now. "You don't get to do this. You don't get to manipulate me." "I'm not manipulating you. I'm telling you the truth." Ji-ho's voice cracked. You're my brother, my family. I failed you, I see that now. But killing me won't fix anything. It'll just make you a pawn in someone else's game. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Broken only by the roar of flames consuming the warehouse behind them. Jin Seok's face crumpled. Tears fell faster now. His hand shook so violently the gun rattled. I can't. Jin Seok's voice broke completely. I can't keep living like this, in your shadow, being nothing. Then don't. Jiho's eyes never left his. Take what you're owed, demand it. I'll give you everything. Real partnership, equal shares, your name on every contract. I swear it. You're lying. I'm not. Jin Seok, please. Desperation bled through every word. I'm begging you. As your brother, don't do this. Don't throw away 20 years for a promise from a man who murders his partners. Jin Seok's face twisted. Confusion, anger, pain, hope, all of it warring behind his eyes. His hand lowered, just an inch. The gun's barrel dipped away from Jiho's forehead. I'm sorry. The words fell from Jiho's lips. Over and over. I'm so sorry. For all of it. I'll make it right. I swear I'll make it right. The gun lowered further, pointed at the ground now. His finger eased off the trigger. Jin Seok's shoulders shook, sobs tore from his chest. Raw, broken. 20 years of resentment cracking open all at once. For a moment, one perfect, fragile moment, Jiho thought he'd gotten through. Then Jin Seok's face hardened. His eyes went cold. Empty. It's too late. His voice was flat. Dead. I've already made my choice. Jin Seok's eyes squeezed shut. The gun rose again. Fast, aimed at Jiho's chest this time. Jin Seok, no! His finger pulled the trigger. The sound was deafening. Thunder and death compressed into a single moment. Adora! Jiho's scream tore through the night. Raw, anguished, destroyed. Jin Seok's eyes snapped open. Horror flooded his face, because the bullet hadn't hit Jiho. Adora stood between them. Body swaying, eyes wide with shock, her hands pressed against her abdomen. Blood seeped between her fingers. Dark, wet, spreading. She'd woken up, seen the gun, thrown herself in front of Jiho at the last possible second. No. Jin Seok stumbled backward. The gun fell from his hand, clattered against concrete. No, I didn't. I wasn't. Adora's legs buckled. Jiho's arms wrapped around her as she collapsed into him. Her weight settled against his chest, warm, precious, bleeding. Adora, Adora. His hands pressed against the wound. Blood poured over his fingers. So much blood. Too much. Stay with me. Please, please stay with me. Comment, survive. If you're crying right now because Adora just took a bullet meant for Jiho and she's dying in his arms. If you're new to Afro-Korean romance stories, hit that subscribe button now because what comes next is going to shatter you. This is the woman who gave up everything to save her brother. The woman who ran from an abusive ex across continents. The woman who fell asleep in a mafia boss's bed and accidentally stole his heart. And now she's bleeding out on concrete while the man she loves watches helplessly. How will she make it out in time in the middle of nowhere? Can the doctors even save her? And Jin Seok, the best friend who just pulled the trigger, what happens when the guilt destroys him? Because this isn't just about a bullet. This is about 20 years of brotherhood shattered in one terrible moment, and Jiho is a man of brutal vengeance. Drop a like if you're invested. Comment what you think. Does Adora survive this? Can Jiho ever forgive Jin Seok? And what will happen when his mother finds out the woman she hates just saved her son's life? Keep watching because Lee Jiho is about to make a grave choice that will change everything between them, and for the worst. Her eyes found his, unfocused, hazy. Pain etched across her beautiful face. Jiho, her voice was barely a whisper. You're okay. I'm okay. I'm fine. But you... His voice broke. You shouldn't have... Why did you... Couldn't... Let him... Her breath hitched, rattled. Couldn't let you die. Jin Seok stood frozen, staring at what he'd done, at the blood, At Adora's face going pale, at his best friend cradling the woman he loved while she bled out on the ground. "I didn't mean," his voice cracked. "I didn't want—" "Get out!" Jiho's roar was inhuman, feral. "Get out before I kill you with my bare hands!" Jin Seok ran, turned, and fled into the darkness. His footsteps echoed, then faded, then disappeared completely. Gone. Jiho didn't watch him go, couldn't take his eyes off Adora, off her face, off the blood that wouldn't stop flowing no matter how hard he pressed. "Hold on." His voice shook. "Adora, hold on. Help is coming. I can hear the sirens. They're almost here. Just hold on." Her hand found his, gripped weakly. "Scared?" she muttered. I know, baby. But you're going to be fine. You have to be fine." Tears blurred his vision. Hot. Unstoppable. The first tears he'd shed since his father's death, 17 years ago. "I can't lose you. Please. I can't lose you. Love. You—" Her eyes fluttered, fighting to stay open. "I love you too, so much, more than anything." He pressed his forehead against hers. "Stay with me, please. Just stay with me." Sirens wailed closer. Red and blue lights cut through the smoke. Voices shouted. Footsteps pounded. Firefighters, paramedics, help, finally, finally. 2 paramedics rushed over, took one look at Adora and moved fast. Professional, efficient. They tried to pry Jiho's hands away from the wound. He wouldn't let go. "Sir, we need to—" "I'm not leaving her!" "Sir, please, she's losing too much blood." Another paramedic was already preparing a stretcher. IV bags, equipment. "We need to move now." They loaded Adora onto the stretcher. Jiho climbed into the ambulance behind them, his hands still pressed against her wound, his eyes still locked on her face. The doors slammed. The ambulance tore away from the warehouse, sirens screaming, racing through Seoul's empty streets toward Seoul National University Hospital. Jiho held Adora's hand, squeezed it tight, whispered to her the entire way. "Stay with me. You're going to be fine, I promise. Just hold on, please hold on. I can't do this without you. I can't breathe without you. You're everything. You're my whole world. Please, please don't leave me." He begged desperately. Adora's eyes cracked open, met his. She tried to smile, failed. Her lips barely moved. "Not going anywhere." The words were so faint he almost missed them. Then her eyes closed. Her hand went limp in his. The heart monitor screamed, a single endless tone. "No!" Jiho lurched forward. "Adora! Adora!" The paramedics pushed him back, started compressions, shocked her. Once, twice. The monitor flatlined, shocked again. Nothing. "Come on!" The paramedic pounded her chest. "Come on!" Jiho couldn't breathe, couldn't think. His vision tunneled, the world reduced to that monitor. That awful, endless tone. She couldn't die. She wasn't allowed to die. Not after everything. Not after he'd finally found something worth living for. One more shock, a beep, then another, then a rhythm. Weak, unsteady, but there. The paramedic sagged with relief. "We got her. She's back." Jiho collapsed against the ambulance wall. Tears streamed down his face. His whole body shook. She was alive. Barely, but alive. The hospital was chaos. Doctors, nurses, rushing, shouting. They wheeled Adora straight into surgery. Jiho tried to follow. A nurse stopped him, hand on his chest, firm. "You can't go in there, sir. She needs me. She needs surgery. Let them work." Her voice was kind but absolute. "There's a waiting area down the hall. Someone will update you as soon as possible," she said. They pushed through the double doors. Adora disappeared behind them. Gone. Jiho stood in the empty hallway. Blood covered his hands, his shirt, his face. Adora's blood. Drying, darkening. He walked to the waiting area like a ghost. Sat down, stood up immediately. Couldn't stay still, couldn't stop moving. He paced, back and forth, back and forth. The floor tiles blurred beneath his feet. His hands clenched and unclenched. His jaw ached from clenching. An hour passed, then 2, then 3. He didn't sit, Didn't eat, didn't drink, didn't speak to anyone even when his men arrived, just paced and prayed and bargained with a god he wasn't sure existed. Take anything, everything, my empire, my money, my life. Just let her live. Please let her live. 4 hours, 5, 6, finally, the double doors opened. A surgeon emerged, mask pulled down, exhausted, blood on his scrubs. Jiho rushed him, grabbed his shoulders. Is she? The surgery was successful. The surgeon's voice was steady, calm. We removed the bullet, repaired the damage. She lost a lot of blood, but we transfused her. She's stable now. The words hit Jiho like a physical force, relief so intense it hurt. His knees buckled, he collapsed to the floor, right there in the middle of the hospital hallway. The surgeon crouched beside him, put a hand on his shoulder. She's going to be okay. She'll need time to recover, but she's going to be okay. Jiho couldn't speak, could only nod. Tears fell silently, endlessly. She was alive. His Adora was alive. Can I? His voice cracked. Can I see her? She's in recovery, still unconscious from the anesthesia, but once she wakes up, yes, you can see her. 2 hours later, a nurse found him. She's awake. Jiho followed her down the hallway, his heart hammered, his hands shook. The door opened, and there she was, Adora, lying in a hospital bed, pale, weak, bandages wrapped around her torso, IV lines in her arms, monitors beeping steadily beside her. But alive, breathing, her eyes open. Those beautiful doe eyes found him. A small smile touched her lips. Hey! Jiho crossed the room in 3 strides, fell to his knees beside the bed, grabbed her hand, pressed it against his face. You're okay. Thank God. Thank God you're okay. Takes more than a bullet to get rid of me. Her voice was weak, raspy, but that spark was still there. That fire that made her Adora. He laughed. It came out half sob. Don't joke. Please don't joke right now. Why not? She squeezed his hand. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. And crying hurts too much. Then let me cry for both of us. He pressed his forehead against her hand. Tears fell on her fingers. You almost died. You threw yourself in front of a bullet for me. Why? Why would you do that? Because I love you, you idiot. She smiled. And because someone has to keep you alive. You're terrible at it. On your own. Adora, I'm serious. Her eyes grew more focused, more intense. You would have died for me, without question. So don't act surprised that I'd do the same. His chest cracked open, love and pain and gratitude flooding through all at once. I'm going to protect you. The words came out fierce, final. From now on, from everything, I swear it. I know. Her smile turned sad. But who protects you? From yourself. Before he could answer, his phone buzzed. His mother's name flashed on the screen. He declined it immediately. It rang again. Answer it. Adora's voice was soft. Could be important. Nothing is more important than you. Jiho. She squeezed his hand. Answer, the phone. He glared at the device, then answered. What? I need to see you. His mother's voice was clipped, businesslike. Now, it's urgent. I'm with Adora? Now, Jiho. This cannot wait. She insisted. The line went dead. Jiho stared at the phone. Fury bubbled in his chest. His mother knew what had happened, knew Adora had been shot. And still, she was making demands. Go. Adora's voice pulled him back. I'll be fine. Go see what she wants. I'm not leaving you. I'm surrounded by doctors and nurses. I'll survive an hour without you. She smiled. Go, handle it, then come back. He wanted to argue, wanted to stay, but the look in her eyes, gentle but firm, told him resistance was futile. Fine. He stood, pressed a kiss to her forehead. 1 hour. I'll be back in 1 hour. I'm counting. He called his men, 50 of them, the most loyal, the most skilled, half stationed inside the hospital, half outside in black SUVs, armed, ready. No one would get within 100 feet of Adora without going through them first. Only then did he leave. His mother's office was exactly as he remembered. Cold, elegant, expensive, everything in its place, including her, sitting behind her desk like a queen on a throne. She looked up when he entered. Her eyes swept over him, taking in the blood, the exhaustion, the rage barely contained beneath his skin. "You look terrible." Her voice was flat, emotionless. "Is that why you called me here? To critique my appearance?" "No." She pulled a folder from her desk, slid it across the polished surface. "I called you here to give you this." Jiho stared at the folder, didn't move. "Open it." Her voice carried an edge, sharp, impatient. He crossed the room, flipped the folder open. Inside were the contracts, the ones he'd signed for Sung-min, the ones that gave away his empire, his shares, everything, all of them marked void in red ink. His head snapped up. "How? I handled it." His mother leaned back in her chair. "Within 12 hours of your incident, I retrieved the contracts, eliminated the threat, and reclaimed what was stolen." "Eliminated!" Jiho's jaw clenched. "Sung-min? Dead, along with his wife. His men have been absorbed into our organization or disposed of accordingly." She said it like she was discussing the weather. "The situation has been resolved." Jiho's hands clenched into fists. You knew I was in danger, and instead of coming for me, instead of making sure I was alive, you went after the fucking paperwork." The paperwork was the priority. Her voice didn't waver. "If Sung-min had consolidated power, you'd be dead anyway. I saved your empire. You should be thanking me." "Thanking you?" He slammed his hands on the desk, papers scattered. "Adora almost died, and you were playing corporate espionage." "I was protecting what matters." Her eyes were ice. "Your empire, your legacy, the business your grandfather built and your father died for. That is what matters." "No." Jiho's voice dropped, deadly quiet. "I matter. Adora matters. She's the only thing that matters. That girl has ruined you." His mother stood, fury finally cracking through her composed mask. "Look at yourself. Crying over some foreign woman who stumbled into your life, signing away empires for her, nearly dying because you were too distracted to see a threat coming. She saved my life. She put you in danger in the first place." His mother's voice rose. Actually, rose. "Before her, you were focused, strong, untouchable. Now you're weak, soft, exactly like your father." The comparison landed like a slap. "Don't." Jiho's voice was low, dangerous. "Don't compare me to him." "Why not? It's the truth." She pulled fresh papers from her desk, slid them toward him. "Sign these. They reinstate your full control, make it clear you're back, that your moment of weakness is over." Jiho looked down at the contracts. His name, his empire, everything he'd built, everything that had cost him so much. He picked up the papers. His mother smiled, victorious. Then Jiho tore them in half, then quarters, then confetti. The pieces fluttered to the floor like snow. His mother's face went white. "What are you—" "I'm done." The words came out calm. Final. "I choose Adora. I choose a life with her, and there's nothing you can say or do to change that." "You're throwing away—" "I'm throwing away nothing." He met her eyes. "I'm gaining everything. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing to be happy, to live, to love someone more than power or money or legacy. And if you can't accept that, then I guess we have nothing more to discuss." He turned toward the door. "If you walk out that door," his mother's voice shook with rage, "if you choose her over this family, you will regret it. I promise you that." Jiho paused, looked back over his shoulder. "I already regret 17 years of living for your approval. I'm not wasting another second." He walked out, didn't look back. The door closed behind him with a soft click. Final. Absolute. Over the next 2 weeks, Jiho barely left Adora's side. He stayed at the hospital, slept in the chair beside her bed, held her hand through every painful moment of recovery. His phone rang constantly. His mother, his men, business partners, all of them demanding his attention, demanding he return to the empire. He ignored every call, every single one. Instead, he sent out orders, his best men, his most loyal hunters, all with the same mission: find Jin Seok. Jiho placed a heavy bounty on his former friend's head, 100 million won, 500 million. The number kept rising, dead or alive. He didn't care which. Adora watched him obsess, watched the darkness creep back into his eyes, the rage he'd started to shed returning with a vengeance. You should talk to him. Her voice was soft, careful. Jiho looked up from his laptop. Talk to who? Jin Seok. His expression went cold. There's nothing to talk about. He was your best friend. He shot you. Jiho's voice was ice. He pointed a gun at my head. He betrayed me. He doesn't get mercy. He was hurting. So was I. The words exploded out of him. You think I haven't suffered, haven't sacrificed? But I didn't betray the people who loved me. I didn't pull a trigger on my best friend. No. Adora met his eyes. But you did make him feel worthless. For 15 years, Jiho. Can you honestly say you treated him like an equal? Silence. Heavy. Damning. Because she was right, and they both knew it. He was never supposed to be an equal. That was my father's company. All he did was help out. Yet he has the audacity to put a bullet in you, Jiho said finally. Jiho. Adora reached for his hand. There's so much more to this than you're willing to explore, and maybe that's something worth thinking about. Jiho looked at their joined hands, at the woman who'd taken a bullet for him, who loved him despite everything he was and everything he'd done. I'll think about it, he lied. She smiled, sad, knowing. No, you won't. She was right. He wouldn't, because some betrayals couldn't be forgiven, some wounds cut too deep to heal, and Lee Jiho was a man of vengeance. A week later, the doctors cleared Adora for discharge. She still needed rest, still needed to avoid stress and relax, but she could recover at home. Home, the penthouse, with Jiho. The thought should have thrilled her, but something felt off. Jiho had been distant, distracted, always on his phone, always tense. What's wrong? She asked one evening. They sat on the balcony overlooking Seoul. The city glittered like diamonds below them. Nothing. He didn't look at her. Liar. He sighed, ran a hand through his hair. I've been thinking about us, this life, everything that's happened. He finally turned to face her. His eyes were tired, haunted. You almost died because of me, because of my world, my enemies, my choices. That wasn't your fault. It was. His voice was firm. Everything that happened was because I brought you into this, and it's going to keep happening. As long as you're with me, you'll be a target. Fear coiled in Adora's stomach. What are you saying? I'm saying we need to leave. Get away from all of this. Start over somewhere new. He grabbed her hands. Let's go to Greece, your dream destination. We'll spend a month there, just us. No empire, no enemies, no ghosts from the past. What do you say? Relief flooded through her. Yes. Yes, of course, yes. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. They visited Ikenna before leaving. The boy had made incredible progress. Physical therapy, speech therapy, cognitive rehabilitation. He was awake now, aware, speaking in full sentences. When he saw Adora, his whole face lit up. Sister! She burst into tears, rushed to him, hugged him carefully, mindful of his injuries. You're okay, she whispered. You're really okay. Thanks to you. Ikenna looked past her at Jiho. And him. Thank you, sir, for everything. Jiho's throat tightened. Take care of your sister. She's the strongest person I know. I will, Ikenna beamed. Before they left, Jiho arranged security. 100 men stationed around the hospital, around Ikenna's room. No one would touch him. No one. Greece was paradise. Santorini's white buildings against blue ocean. Athens' ancient ruins whispering stories of gods and heroes. Mykonos's beaches stretching golden beneath endless sun. Adora had the time of her life. She laughed more than she had in years, explored, danced, ate food that tasted like heaven, swam in water so clear she could see the bottom, and Jiho watched her. Memorized every smile, every laugh, every moment of joy, because something was wrong. He could feel it, a darkness creeping closer, danger circling. After a few days, his mood shifted. He grew quiet, withdrawn, always on his phone, texting, calling, his jaw perpetually clenched. Adora noticed and tried to understand, but after a while, she cracked. "What's going on?" Adora asked one night. They sat on their hotel balcony, stars scattered above them like diamonds. "Nothing." He didn't look up from his phone. "Jiho, I said it's nothing." "Don't lie to me." He finally met her eyes. "It's just business. Things falling apart back home. Nothing you need to worry about." "But you're worried." "I'm handling it." She didn't believe him, but she also didn't know how to push without making things worse, so she let it go. Big mistake. 3 days later, Jiho's phone rang. His face went white when he saw the number. He answered, listened, his expression crumbled. "I'm coming. I'll be there as soon as I can." He hung up, turned to Adora. "We need to go back to Seoul. Now." "What happened?" "My mother. She's in danger. Someone's coming after her. I need to—" He stopped, ran a hand over his face. "I need to protect her." Adora's heart sank. She'd seen how he and his mother fought, how much pain existed between them. But she also understood. Family was family, even when they hurt you, and she was all that was left of his family. "Okay," she said softly. "Let's go." They flew out on a private jet, straight to Seoul. 17 hours of tense silence. Jiho barely spoke, barely ate, just stared out the window like he could will the plane to move faster. When they landed in Seoul, Jiho turned to her. "I need you to go home, to the penthouse. Stay there with my men. I'll handle my mother and then come back to you. I should go with you." "No." His voice was firm. "This could be dangerous. I need you safe. Please, just trust me." She wanted to argue, but the desperation in his eyes stopped her. "Okay." She kissed him. "Be careful. Always." He kissed her back, deeply. Jiho's car raced toward his mother's estate in Gangnam. His gut churned. Something felt off. Wrong. But he couldn't ignore a threat against his mother. Despite everything between them, she was still his family. Still his blood. The car pulled up to the gates. They opened automatically. Too smoothly. Too easily. Jiho's hand moved to his phone. He should call for backup. The car stopped at the main entrance. Jiho stepped out. The estate was dark, silent, not a single light on, not a single guard in sight. Every instinct screamed danger. But his mother was inside, possibly hurt, possibly dying. He pushed through the front door. The lights blazed on, blinding, overwhelming. Jiho's hand went to his gun. Pain exploded across the back of his skull. Stars burst behind his eyes. His knees buckled. Hands grabbed him. Strong, familiar, his own men. What? He tried to fight, tried to twist away. But there were too many. 5, 6, 7 of them. Men he'd trusted, men he'd paid, men who'd sworn loyalty. They forced him to his knees, zip-tied his wrists behind his back. Brutal, efficient, professional. He resisted and a boot connected with his ribs. Air exploded from his lungs. Another kick, then another. They beat him methodically, scientifically, breaking him down piece by piece. Jiho's vision swam, blood filled his mouth, his body screamed. Then the beating stopped. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, high heels clicking against marble. His mother emerged from the shadows, immaculate as always, hair perfect, makeup flawless, wearing a cream Chanel suit that probably cost more than most people made in a year. She looked down at her son, broken, bleeding, bound at her feet. No emotion crossed her face. "Hello, Jiho." Her voice was ice. "Thank you for coming so quickly." "You—" Blood dripped from his split lip. There's no danger. You lied. Of course I lied. She circled him like a shark. You wouldn't have come otherwise. You've been ignoring my calls, ignoring your responsibilities, ignoring everything that matters because of that girl. Don't. He tried to stand. A boot to his back sent him sprawling. His face hit the floor, hard. Don't you dare touch Adora. Touch her? His mother laughed, cold, cruel. Oh, Jiho, I don't need to touch her. I've already taken care of that particular problem. His blood turned to ice. What did you do? What I should have done months ago. She crouched down, met his eyes. I removed her from the equation, permanently. If you hurt her... Rage gave him strength. He lunged. The zip ties held. His men grabbed him, forced him back down. I'll kill you. I swear to God I'll... You'll do nothing. Her voice cut through his threats like a blade. Because you're going to stay here, in this estate, under guard, until you come to your senses and remember who you are. I know who I am. Do you? His mother stood, smoothed her suit. A man who gives up empires for love. A man who cries and begs and breaks himself for a woman who means nothing. I mean, look at your men. They've had enough of your weakness, of your foolishness. They weren't hard to convince because they realized that the man they once swore their loyalty to is gone. Now he's a soft lapdog to a foreign woman. That's not you, Jiho. That's not the son I raised. You didn't raise me. The words exploded out of him. You trained me, molded me, turned me into a weapon for your ambitions. But I'm done being your puppet. You're done when I say you're done. She gestured to the men. Take him to the East Wing. Lock him in the master suite. No phone, no contact with the outside world. And if he tries to escape? She smiled. Well, let's hope it never comes to that. The men hauled Jiho to his feet, dragged him toward the stairs. Mother, please. For the first time, genuine desperation bled into his voice. Please don't hurt Adora. She's innocent. This is between us. Please. Nothing is between us, Jiho. Not anymore. His mother turned her back on him. This is business, and business always wins. They dragged him up the stairs, down a long hallway, into a massive suite that had once been his father's. They threw him inside. He hit the floor hard, rolled, tried to get up. The door slammed shut, locks engaged, heavy, final. Jiho lunged at the door, threw his shoulder against it, again. It didn't budge. He was trapped, imprisoned in his own family's estate by his own men, and Adora was out there, alone, facing whatever nightmare his mother had arranged. Adora! He screamed her name, threw himself against the door again. Adora! But the walls were thick, soundproof. His voice died in the empty room. He collapsed against the door, sliding down until he sat on the floor, hands still bound behind his back, blood dripping from his face. For the first time in his life, Lee Jiho felt truly helpless. And the woman he loved was paying the price. A car took Adora to the penthouse. 4 dozen of Jiho's men accompanied her, professional, armed, alert. They escorted her into the building, into the elevator, up to the penthouse floor. The doors opened. She stepped into the foyer. The men followed her in. Then, click. The door locked behind them. Adora spun around. The men stood between her and the exit, their expressions blank, cold. What's going on? Her voice shook. They didn't answer. Didn't move. Footsteps echoed from deeper in the penthouse. A woman emerged from the shadows, young, early 20s, devastatingly beautiful, long black hair, perfect skin, designer clothes that screamed money. She carried a baby, maybe 6 months old. The child had Jiho's eyes. Adora's world tilted. The woman smiled, sharp, predatory. Hello, Adora. I've been waiting to meet you. Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. The woman's smile widened. I'm Choi Minji, Jiho's fiancé. She lifted the baby slightly. And this is our son, Ji-hoon. The words hit like bullets, each one tearing through Adora's chest. Fiancé, son, Jiho's. That's not possible, Adora whispered. He would have told me. Would he? Minji tilted her head. Are you sure? Because from where I'm standing, he's been keeping quite a few secrets. You're lying. Am I? Minji pulled out her phone, showed Adora a photo. Jiho and Minji. Together. smiling, his arm around her waist. Dated 8 months ago, before Adora, before everything. We were engaged, Minji said softly, almost kindly. Planning our wedding, then I got pregnant. Everything was perfect, until he met you and decided to throw it all away. Adora couldn't breathe, couldn't think. This couldn't be real. Jiho wouldn't, but don't worry. Minji's voice turned ice cold. I've brought a little surprise for you, to help you understand exactly where you stand. She gestured behind her. Another figure stepped into the light. Adora's blood turned to ice. No, it couldn't be, but it was. Dio, her ex-boyfriend from Nigeria, the man who'd burned her hands, the man she'd fled across continents to escape. He smiled, that same cruel, twisted smile she remembered from her nightmares. Hello, Adora. His voice was smooth, mocking. Miss me? Her legs gave out. She collapsed to the floor, staring up at the two people from her past who'd hurt her most. Minji laughed. The sound echoed through the penthouse, cold, victorious. Welcome home, sweetheart. We have so much to talk about. Comment: no. If you're screaming right now because what just happened, Jiho has a fiancé and a son, and Dio, the man who burned Adora, is in Seoul? In the penthouse. If you're new to Afro-Korean romance stories, smash that subscribe button right now because this story is far from over. The final part is coming and it's going to wreck you. Because when love is tested by lies, betrayal, and blood, what survives? Can Jiho escape his mother's prison before Adora breaks? Can Adora survive Dio's cruelty and Minji's games long enough to be saved? And that baby, is he real? Or is this the cruelest lie of all? Drop a like if you're invested. Comment below what you think happens next. Does that baby really belong to Jiho? Can Adora escape Dio? Will Jiho break free before it's too late? And most importantly, can their love survive when everyone they trust has turned against them? The final part drops soon. The truth is darker than you imagine. The stakes are higher than ever. And the love? It's about to be tested in ways that'll break your heart into 1,000,000 pieces. This is Afro-Korean Romance Stories. Part 3 is coming, and it's going to change everything.